What is up, everybody? Welcome into this first Tuesday episode of Flippin Bats. One of two episodes today. We got This Week in Shohei Ohtani news coming up later, but this one, we got one up, one down, one team or player on the rise, and one going in the opposite direction. We also have Honesty Hour. I got to do it again because we have to talk about the reaction that many people had to José Altuve getting 2,000 hits and just the reaction to him overall. Got to address that. Immaculate Grid, it is back. We're doing it today. 90 seconds on the clock. How many can I get? Well, we will see. And fan questions at the end. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get to it.
Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment. Happy Tuesday, my friends. I am joined, as always, by Alex Curry, and it's gonna be a good day. We have a lot to talk about. I'm passionate about a lot of things we're gonna talk about today. And big day. Justin starting on the mound tonight against the Red Sox at home in Houston. So
what are your
be
plans?
A good day. I am going to sit on my couch.
Okay.
I am going to
panic
anxiously
attack.
watch, and I am going to get, at some point, a text from Alex with a hamburger shooting ketchup and mustard.
And maybe you'll reply to me this time.
Doubtful.
No, come on.
What do you mean?
Well, you've
It's
replied to me
tradition.
the last couple of times.
It's tradition. I don't
Okay.
respond.
All right. Fine. I'll take it. If at least if you're acknowledging that you see it, I'm chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I see
Let's
it.
get to it.
Okay.
All right. Because we are back with one up, one down, as Ben explained. We're each going to talk about a team or a player that is on the rise this week or next on the down. So let's get started with your one up, Ben. Who you got?
My one up is the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. Brew Crew.
The Brewers are coming off an absolute statement series against the Rangers, where they go on the road to the Rangers' place, one of the best teams in baseball all year long, and sweep them on the road. Coming off a 9-game road trip where they go 6-3. They sweep the Rangers, the White Sox in there as well. And everyone, it feels like, myself, ourselves included, are talking about the Cubs and how great their run has been and how much fun they've been and how much ground they've covered and caught up in the wild card race and in the division. Admittedly, we got to talk about the Brewers more. I mean, what they're doing right now, especially, I said it earlier, but absolute statement series on the road against the Rangers. Not only do they have the lead in the NL Central, but they're getting more and more of a grasp on that lead. Yes, the Cubs have been fun and surprising, and everybody's loving talking about them, myself included, but the Brewers deserve a lot of credit for the way they're playing right now, and they are my one up.
I love that.
Who is your one up?
Oh, so glad you asked. My one up is the man of the week. He was your player of the week that we talked about yesterday, Julio Rodriguez. This man is just absolutely on fire. He broke the MLB record for most hits, 17 hits in 4 games. But I think the most important part is that he's red hot at the perfect time for this Mariners team. All right. I mean, this Mariners team in general, since the trade deadline, has been the second best team in baseball, the best in the American League. But they're doing it in a time, the dog days of summer that everyone talks about, where teams might go on a little slump. They are doing the opposite and just fighting their way back into a wild card spot. But I'm going to give you some fun facts about his 17 hits
Love
here
fun facts.
in these 4-game stretch. His 17 hits in the 4-game stretch was equal to the entire Yankees team over their last 4 games. 17 hits are the most in a 4-game span since the 1900s. Has 4 straight 4-hit games, tied for the longest streak since 1925. His 27 hits over his last 9 road games, the most by a major leaguer since 1901, and became the only player since 1900 to record 14 hits and 5 stolen bases in a 4-game span. But yes, this week has been great for Julio Rodriguez, but I honestly feel like since the home run derby and those 41 home runs in his first round of the home run derby, Julio has just kicked it into a different gear. I feel like that kind of snapped him into the Julio that we've known and wanted to. And it really has, because before the All-Star break, he was batting 249 with 13 home runs since the All-Star break, a fraction, 33 games. He's batting 352 with 8 home runs. Like, there has just been such a switch for Julio Rodriguez, and I'm so happy to see him just have this glow up right now.
Yeah, me too. I love me some Julio. Love that he's playing really well right now. He's a superstar in this game. Talked about him a lot yesterday as well. Very happy for that. Change of pace here.
Change of pace. Time for our downs.
Big time change of pace.
Yep.
My one down is the San Diego Padres. Oof. And the reasoning being the playoffs are there for the taking for the Padres. They've continued to be in that range of like 5 to 7 games back, and everyone around them, in front of them, hasn't really been all that good lately. Not everyone. Obviously, Cubby's been good, but, you know, like Giants, Marlins, Reds, D-backs, everybody's like just trying to hang on. And then you have the Padres, who every time they win, and when the Padres win, they win. I mean, they're putting up like 10, 13 runs a game and just blowing teams out. And then they do it 2 days in a row, and you think, here they are. This is that team that everybody believed in. And then they just turn right around and get their ass kicked in games or lose by 1 run. I mean, they're the worst. I don't know specifically, but I think they're the worst team in baseball in 1-run ball games. It's mind-blowing to me this season, coming off a really tough weekend series against the D-backs. They are my down because of the fact that the season, despite it being a nightmare for the Padres, is still there for the taking, and they just don't take it. Every time it's right in front of them, and they can cut that wild card lead down to 5 games, they just lose. And I don't understand it. It's frustrating to watch as a fan of the game and a fan, like, to see that stadium show up for them and Tatis going nuts on the field and Manny playing well, and you have all these other superstars. It was the perfect analogy for their season the other night when Juan Soto came up with 2 outs in the 9th inning. They were down 2 runs, bases loaded, and he hit a ball that everybody thought was a walk-off grand slam, and it was caught a foot in front of the fence. Game over. Just place defeated. And that's what this Padres season feels like. It's
just so disappointing because they have such exciting players and even such exciting moments during the game, and they just can't win. Yeah. Tough. All right, yours. My one down this week, I've talked a lot about them, are the New York Yankees. It is bad. They are in trouble. They lost 8 straight. They haven't won a series this month. They got swept by Boston this weekend at home, which I'm unacceptable by their fans. 4 games under 500. They haven't been this bad since the early 90s. I'm going to give you a couple more stats here. Worst record through 123 games since 1992. Home record through 123 games, worst since 2014. Road record through 123 games, worst since 1995. And things just look bad. Yeah, the numbers are bad, but you can just tell this whole team is so frustrated. And they've had really unfortunate things kind of happen to the team this season. I think the first big bump was Aaron Judge's injury. They never really looked the same while he was out. And even since he came back, obviously the Domingo Germán situation, which they didn't do anything significant at the trade deadline to get better or to get any pieces to try to improve. If they weren't going to try to get someone, they weren't buyers, they weren't sellers. It was just such a weird situation. And that you officially canceled them yesterday. I mean, it is just so disappointing to have a franchise of this caliber be satisfied with playing 500 baseball, and their goal is to just have a winning season when the goal used to be World Series or bust. It's an unrecognizable Yankees franchise right now. Yeah, but they're canceled. I mean, it is. They're out. They're done. It's bad. Season's over. Yeah, Yankees are done. Forget 500 would be great. We talked about 500 a week ago, and they haven't won. No, they're not even close right now. They lost 8 straight. Just a fiasco. Yeah, you mentioned the Aaron Judge thing. That's kind of when the season really started going downhill. Yeah, but it started.
Carlos Rodon not pitching for them. Like they get their new prized pitcher and he's just out for a lot of the beginning of the year. And then it just never felt right with the Yankees this year at no point. And now they're done. They're canceled.
I know. Some honesty right there.
I see what you did.
I know.
Because, oh, baby. Alex, you're going to love this one.
I know. I am.
It is honesty hour time. Everyone, Alex, you driving in your car, you listening on a run, whatever you're doing, sitting on the couch.
Watching on YouTube.
Watching on YouTube. Let's hop on in together into the trust tree and talk about how we need to put some more respect on José Altuve's name. Okay? Yesterday, I discussed José Altuve reaching 2,000 hits, reaching that milestone, the fastest Houston Astro in history to reach 2,000 hits, to reach that mark. And even when that happens, and I send out and the world starts sending out very genuine, heartfelt tweets about José Altuve and about his career and how incredible it has been, it is met with so many people calling him a cheater and attacking his character. My tweet read 2,000 hits, José Altuve. Altuve is a class act, one of the greatest to ever do it, and one of the kindest, most humble people you'll ever meet. So happy for him. What a journey for a guy that was, grammatical error there from me, that was written off so many times because of his size. I literally love José Altuve. Heart. Okay, that's my tweet. It is met with what I knew it would be met with, which is just so many comments of people saying, well, he's a cheater. Well, he's a cheater. Well, he's the worst. He's an absolute terrible human. How can a guy be a genuine great guy when he's a cheater? Blah, blah, blah. Okay? It pisses me off. José Altuve is one of the nicest guys and one of the most hardworking guys that I have ever seen on a baseball field. He is an incredible human being. Let's talk about that first. His person, his character, his work ethic, that is top tier, okay? On top of that, we can also discuss the fact that José Altuve did not cheat. It's not an opinion, it is a fact. You can look at this. There were 3 players on the Houston Astros that did not want to use the system. Tony Kemp, Josh Reddick, and you guessed it, José Altuve. But I understand he is the leader of that team. He is the face of the franchise, so a lot of it gets thrown on him. But these are facts. It is a fact that to get all of those hits that he has in his career, 2,000 plus hits at this point, he did not use the system that everybody is well aware of that the Houston Astros were using. The narrative is tired and ridiculous. The buzzer thing, made up, completely fabricated by somebody that just wanted they just made it up. And then people ran with it. It was proven false, yet people just continue to believe that José Altuve was wearing a buzzer that buzzed him when the pitch was coming. Ridiculous. Proven false, was false, and he just continues to get ridiculed now 6 years later when he has proven throughout his career how good he is, how talented he is. And if you take for 1 second and just step back and get off your holy horse that everybody seems to be on because they've never done wrong in their life in history, and how dare a team cheat on the baseball field, they're the worst people of all time. If you can just step back for a second and realize the person that he is and how hardworking he is, and then acknowledge the fact that he did not cheat, maybe, just maybe, people could come around and appreciate what we are seeing with one of the greatest to ever do it in the history of baseball.
I've always loved José Altuve. I love an underdog. And I love someone who's been told no and does everything in their power to fight back.
That whole story yesterday talked about the whole thing, yeah.
Who fights back to not take no for an answer and continue to follow your dream. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, he was a part of a cheating scandal. It will always be attached to him and his career and his legacy, but I do not believe it defines who he is as a person and as a baseball player. And I'm with you. He deserves all the respect in the world.
You know, it could be a long road to go down, but you know, the Astros were caught doing what they did. Yep. I have never said that it was okay, ever. It was wrong. Cheating in baseball is wrong. It crossed a line. The line wasn't really established, but the Astros established it, and obviously cheating is wrong.
Yeah.
I also have said that other teams were doing it and players have come out, but that's regardless of the fact. I do understand that people are mad. What I don't understand all of these years later is like all of these people that are so vocal about this cheated on a test in high school or got a better grade at some point in life because they cheated. And it's like, I don't understand how so many of the most vocal people about this just are apparently the most clean people in history that have never made a mistake or done anything wrong in their entire life. And it really is this weird because it's sports and they feel like their team was wrong. So they feel it's okay to attack these people and their character. It's just wild how all of this has played out.
It's because they won the World Series. It's because they won the World Series and they were caught cheating. You can't be considered the best if you were cheating. And it wasn't just, obviously, it was an entire team system. Yeah. That's why people are so angry and so upset.
Then my natural follow-up would be in 2019 when the Red Sox were caught with the Apple Watch situation and they won the World Series that year. What am I missing? What am I missing? They were caught, Apple Watch, all that whole situation, and we don't even talk about it. It's the Houston Astros. They won the World Series.
I don't think it was publicized.
They beat the Dodgers in the World Series, and then Mookie goes to the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I love Mookie, but it's wild to me. It's just a wild turn of events how it all happened. The Houston Astros were the perfect villain for the game of baseball, and that's just the fact. And here we are. So, honesty hour. Just respect, please, José Altuve. And at this point, you've met him down on the field, and he's one of the... I
covered him for 10 plus years with the Angels. Division, he was always so kind.
Put some respect on his name. Congratulations again for 2,000 hits, and we discussed it yesterday. Now, onward to 3,000. We'll see if he can get there. But honesty hour, respect José Altuve.
All right, we are back with the baseball world's favorite game, Immaculate Grid. Now, we've played this a couple times on the show where Ben has 90 seconds to guess 9 players. If you're new, should we explain? Give you a little background if you're new to this game?
Immaculate Grid, I think more and more people are getting to understand. By the way, never said this. ImmaculateGrid.com. It's very easy to play. And then it just pulls up a brand new grid every single day, 3x3. So there are 9 squares in this 3x3 square with teams, accolades, and whatever matches up, like diagonally and vertically. That's how you horizontally and vertically.
I was like, I don't think it's tic-tac-toe.
No, it's not tic-tac-toe. That's where you insert a player. And there's a million different options. And some people like to play it where you get the smallest percentage and nobody guesses that. But for the sake of this, I have 90 seconds on the clock and I'm going to try and get as many as I can in 90 seconds, which is very difficult.
He's actually done great, though, because you got 8 of 9 the first time. You got 7 of 9 the second time. Yeah. So how well is he going to do?
Normally, I'd say like half the time when I do it on my own.
Yeah.
A little more than half, I'm immaculate. But it takes time. Like it takes a long, like you put it away sometimes and come back to it when you think all day, it's that. So 90 seconds is difficult. I don't think I'll ever go immaculate.
Are you ready?
Who knows? Yeah.
Okay. You're setting yourself up for success by saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever go immaculate. I'll do it now.
Set the bar low and over exceed. That's
We got 90 seconds on the clock. Let's get the grid on the board and have Ben go. Ready?
Yep.
Set.
All right. Marlins, Padres. Garrett Cooper, newly added. Garrett Cooper. Cubs, Padres. Greg Maddux. Cubs and Padres legend, Greg Maddux. Red Sox, Padres. Xander Bogaerts. Don't know why that one took me so long. Okay, Marlins, Blue Jays.
Okay, you got 56 seconds left.
Cubs, Blue Jays. Blue Jays. Red Sox, Blue Jays. Okay, let's go. Marlins, Blue Jays. Anthony Bass. I don't know why that name keeps coming to mind, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Let's see. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Marlins 300+ average career. Miguel Cabrera.
30 seconds.
Cubs 300+ career. Career. Oh my God. Ryan Sandberg. Is that right? I'll go Ryan Sandberg.
Let's see.
No. Dang it. Okay. Red Sox 300+ career.
13 seconds.
Ted Williams. Right.
6 seconds.
Cubs, Blue
3,
Jays,
2.
Cubs, Blue Jays. Okay.
That's time.
Whew.
All right, you got 6.
I am exhausted.
You got 6.
Oh, man. That is tough.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm exhausted.
I know, and you said you were nervous heading into this too.
It gets a lot. 90 seconds, your head's going everywhere, you know?
You did good.
Okay. Yeah, I feel fine about it. Yeah.
All right. Let's lift your spirits up a little more.
Anthony Bass is a great poll.
That
by
was
the way.
actually, that was
6%. 6% of people are saying Anthony Bass?
Is that good? Okay, so that's the percentage. So, like,
Yeah,
those were low.
it's good, but okay.
Cooper and
Wait,
Bass
so
was
let's leave
low.
this up here for a second. Because when I explain the game and I say, like, some people go with the really obvious option. For example, while I have 90 seconds,
Yeah.
Ted Williams, 47% of people are saying Ted Williams. And you know, 32% for the Red Sox and Padres are saying Xander Bogaerts. So, like, there are obvious answers, and then there are the less obvious answers, like an Anthony Bass type of answer. So,
Garrett Cooper.
so that's how you get a lower rarity score at the end of all of it if you go the lesser answer.
Okay.
Quick explanation there. But yeah,
That's fair.
Okay.
Not bad.
not bad.
Not bad. All right. Well, let's wrap things up with some fan questions. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Our first one comes from a KC fan 20. I
Okay.
think you know where this is going. Do you think Bobby Witt Jr. will win an MVP in his career? And if so, how many?
This depends on if Shohei Ohtani is in the National League next year. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. has helped out tremendously. Everybody in the American League is helped out tremendously if Shohei is in the National League.
Yep.
Which I would say is the favorite right now because of Dodgers number one, Giants, Padres in there. The National League is the favorite for him to go to. And if he does, I'm going to say, yeah. I love this guy. And what he's doing, I think, is very underrated. For him to win an MVP award, I do think, like...
Do you think you'd have to move teams?
No, it would just be helpful if the Royals are better. Like, the only way Shohei's able to do what he's doing is because nobody's ever done what he's doing, and all the eyes are.
But also, Mike Trout, too, won his MVPs without getting to the postseason.
One of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
You got to do something
happens.
extra special.
Yeah.
And Bobby Witt is doing something extra special. One of only 2 players with Julio to have 20 homers and 20 stolen bases in their first 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, yeah. I think he wins an MVP in his career. The mixture of power, speed, average, defense, I'll go yes.
There's so many exciting young players. And our next fan question actually talks about another one. So let's get to that one. Would you have pulled up at first for the cycle or not? Hashtag Gunner.
This is good. So Gunnar Henderson on Sunday evening had a triple, a homer, and a double. And going into his next at bat, hit a ball down the right field line and stretched it to a double, foregoing the cycle. I would not have pulled up. Here's why. I mean, one, hitting for the cycle is really cool.
It is.
It's great and it's super rare, but it's not a statistic that puts money in your pocket and food on your table.
His team's reaction of just like, what are you doing? Why didn't you stay at first?
He's raising his OPS. He's raising his slugging percentage. And those are all numbers that you get pointed to in an arbitration case or in contracts. And hitting for the cycle, I would have
stayed. It's one hit. Then you have that cool little accolade stat attached to your career. Everyone understands. It's like, it still scored a run. Like, it's still an RBI. And then you get a cycle.
Or you can get a double. You can't lead the league in doubles by hitting singles.
It was
Remember
just this
that.
one time when you were a single away from the cycle. And it could have gone either way. It was close. I mean, you can't get mad at him for like running it out and like playing hard because that's what you're supposed to do.
No, of course you can't be mad at him.
But I also wouldn't have been mad if he stayed on first base.
I would. It was a blowout, so I do believe the option was his.
Yes.
I would have chosen the option that he did of I'm going to go get my double, and the statistics that matter at the end of the year and that put money in my pocket, I'm going to go get that.
All right.
But I wouldn't have blamed.
Either or would have been fine.
I wouldn't have blamed him.
Yeah, either or would have been fine. Okay, on to our next fan question. Who will prevail in the AL West?
Who will prevail in the AL West?
Looking a little more interesting now that the Mariners are
3 teams
super
in
hot.
this.
Texas, kind of going like Rangers going through a little time. Astros, the Mariners just got the best of them over the weekend.
The Rangers can't beat the Astros. The Astros this year can't beat the Mariners, and they will not beat. The season series now belongs to the Mariners. So it's a really tricky. It's going to be a really fun finish. I have continued to say throughout this year that I believe it'll ultimately be the Astros. Been saying that for a long time for all you haters that are going to say, well, now that his brother's on the team, he's going back to. No,
he said it from
I've been saying it all year long.
Yeah,
so, and this has been a a method that I've stuck with until I need to divert in all of my preseason predictions. Until something's off the table, I'm going to stick with what I said. I've been sticking with the Astros to win the division. There's certainly could happen. So I'll go with them.
What's crazy is at the first half of the season, the AL East was like one of the strongest divisions out there. And we thought that 2 AL East teams were maybe going to take 2 of those wild card spots. Now I very strongly believe it's going to be 2 AL West teams.
Well, it's either going to be 2 AL West or 2 AL East.
I know, because you got Blue Jays and Baltimore kind of like right there flirting with it back and forth.
Yeah, Blue Jays and the Rays.
The Rays.
Baltimore is now leading the division. So yeah, but the Rays are. Baseball's fun right now.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more fan question for you.
Okay.
You ready for it? Mm-hmm. If you were the Pirates or the Nats, would you call up Skeens or Cruz this year?
So this is really good timing on this question. It's coming off of yesterday, me discussing. By the way, thanks for this question. I see it's an either or, so I'm going to pick.
We're going to pick
the top one.
Yep.
Coming off a discussion yesterday where I strongly believe that teams should start calling up their top guys, like coming out of a D1 college, like you're 21, 22 years old, call them up quicker. So this specific question, Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, should they be called up this year? I am going to say no. Here's why with Paul Skeens. I do believe with pitchers, it is different. Okay. Paul Skeens has never thrown as many innings in his life as he has now thrown this year, pitching all the way through the College World Series, now a couple of outings in the minor leagues. His arm is not used to this. So when it comes to pitchers, it's a little trickier. They have to learn how to not pitch once a week and instead pitch every 5 days for 160 games. Very, very difficult for a pitcher to do that. And also the Pirates out of it this year.
Yeah.
Nats, same sort of thing. I'm not gonna really like rush somebody up look, let him go through the system. If he just got promoted to AA, which was super quick and it's great. I love to see that. If I'm the Nats, I let him play out this year in the minor leagues and then give him an invite to Major League Spring Training, see how he does. And I think this goes back to the point yesterday. Yeah. I don't care if he was just drafted less than a year ago. If he is one of the most talented guys on that roster, which you can't tell me with the Washington Nationals he won't be, let him make the opening day roster. This year, I don't think there's anything pressing to be like, he just got called up to AA on Sunday. We need him in the big leagues right now. Well, no, you don't. No. So
you also want to be careful, the situation on their confidence. If you know they're ready, you think they're ready, you're talking to the minor league coaches who have seen them now in a handful of games, and they feel like they're ready. Because you could also have a situation where a guy comes up, gets completely crushed, and then his confidence crushed. Yeah. And that's not something that you want to do.
Yeah, that is a good point, and it is a popular answer to what I said. But I've talked to so many players over the last few years that have gotten a call up at a certain point, and they say that helped their career. Learning how to struggle in the big leagues. Again, baseball is a game of failure. failure. And these guys, a lot of them coming out of the draft, have never really failed in their life on a baseball field. Learn how to fail. Hey, it didn't work. I'm going to go back down and I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to lose confidence in myself. I'm going to learn how to deal with this, and I'm going to be better for it in the long run. Look at what Nolan Shaniel did. He had a 3-game hitting streak to start his career, hitting in front of Shohei. Like, really cool. Love those sort of things. So I will say no need this year. I would say no, but I would love to see them make the team next year. But again, with Skeens, it'll still be a year. He's not. No. His arm will not be used to what he's going through.
Completely different.
Pitchers are different
than position players.
But yeah, good stuff there. Also, the Gunner question.
Yeah.
He is tomorrow's episode of Flippin Bats. Gunnar Henderson of the first place Baltimore Orioles. This was a really, really fun conversation with him, and he's becoming one of the best young players in the game of baseball. He was my prediction to win AL Rookie of the Year, and I put him on the spot and asked him who he thinks is going to win AL Rookie of the Year. Just a really, really fun conversation. So tomorrow, Baltimore Orioles stud rookie infielder Gunnar Henderson joins Flippin Bats. But, Alex, that does it for this first Tuesday episode. We will have This Week in Shohei Ohtani news later. But thank you all for listening to this episode. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. We're also on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, at Flippin Bats Pod for all of them. But until next time, my friends, this has been another episode of Flippin Bats. Peace.